Another month is in the books, and I want to share with you what happened in my dividend growth portfolio in August. Each month when I do these updates, I try to focus on a particular aspect of portfolio construction and management because there's way too much information to cover if I try to explain everything about the portfolio. This month I'm going to focus on portfolio management. Hi, I'm Dave Van Napp for the Dividends and Income channel. Before I get going, please help us out by clicking the thumb up button if you like this content, subscribing to our channel, and ringing the bell for notifications about new videos when we put them up each day. Thank you. I'll show you the whole portfolio at the end of the video. What I want to concentrate on first is how the portfolio changes as a result of decisions that I make as the portfolio manager. In August, there were a couple of significant changes. One happened because I decided to trim an oversized position in the portfolio, and the other was my monthly dividend reinvestment. This display shows the changes in August. Red means sale or a reduction, and green means a purchase or an increase. The top line here shows that in August I sold 7 shares of Microsoft, which was about $2,000 worth, because Microsoft had become an oversized position and it was also overvalued. It still is overvalued. I still have a significant position in Microsoft. You can see in the second column from the right that it still occupies 7.4% of the portfolio. The other two stocks shown here, Merck and the Schwab US Dividend ETF, SCHD, are what I purchased with money from the sale of Microsoft and money that came in the form of dividends. My position in Merck went up 20 shares from 8 to 28. Merck is a position I started earlier this year and have been slowly growing. It's now 1.3% of the portfolio and bringing in $73 already per year in dividends. SCHD is also a position that I started earlier this year. I added 13 shares, bringing the total that I own to 19 shares. And the position of the portfolio is almost up to 1%, and it's bringing in $41 a year in dividends. This display shows what I've done in terms of making adjustments to the portfolio this year. The bottom line shows August. That's the sale of $2,000 worth of Microsoft that I just talked about. But earlier this year in January, I also trimmed Microsoft. At that time, $4,900 worth of it. In July, I sold out of AT&T, and in August, I trimmed Microsoft again. I don't usually make portfolio adjustments this often. I tend towards buy and hold or buy and monitor. This year, it's turned out that several reasons have come up to make changes to the portfolio based on my portfolio management guidelines. In some years, I make no portfolio changes at all. My turnover rate is 0. This year, however, I've turned over $13,500 in the portfolio, and that amounts to about 8% turnover so far this year. I'm not expecting to do anything else of this type the rest of the year, but we'll have to see how it plays out. I'm always monitoring my positions, and if the facts change, such as they did with AT&T when it announced its restructuring earlier this year, which is going to inevitably lead to a dividend cut, I will make changes when necessary, or when something happens that means that the stock I'm looking at no longer fits my portfolio properly. If you want to learn more about my sale of AT&T, which was a little controversial, please see my video dated July 13th, 2021, where I explain it in detail. The second part of portfolio management is the reinvestment of dividends, and that's what this display shows. I've highlighted a few things on this display that I want to bring to your attention. First, in the second column called Stocks Purchased, I've highlighted 3 things in green. What those are each time is the word new, indicating that I used dividend reinvestments to start a new position in the portfolio. So in January, I started a new position in the utility UGI. In May, I started the position in Merck that we've already talked about. And in July, I started the position in SCHD that we've talked about. If you go over 2 columns from that, the annual income added is the amount that the dividend run rate per year goes up as a result of the shares I purchased by reinvesting dividends. So the column to the left there shows how many shares, but probably the more important number is how many dollars did that add to the portfolio's dividend run rate. You can see it's other than in January when I had extra money, because up until January of this year, I was reinvesting dividends only when I got up to about $1,000. This year I switched to monthly, so I had more money to invest in January, and that purchase of UGI added $28 to my annual run rate. All of the other ones are 13, 16, 15, and so on in that range. Through August, obviously I've done this now 8 times this year. At the bottom you can see that altogether I've added $135 in annual dividends to the rate they're coming in. And over in the last column I highlighted adds 2.8% per run so far, meaning that $135 amounts all by itself to an increase in my annual income, dividend income from this portfolio, of about 2.8%. There are still 4 more months left to go in the year, so I'm going to do this 4 more times. And by the time I get done at the end of the year, having reinvested dividends each month, I will have added more than 3% to my annual income without having done anything else. So if every stock in the portfolio for some reason froze its dividend, which of course they don't, I would still get 3% or more income next year than I'll get this year based solely on reinvesting dividends themselves. Okay, now I'm going to keep my promise and show you my whole portfolio. While you're looking at the portfolio, I will give you these fast facts about it. I began it in 2008 to demonstrate dividend growth investing. Its initial value was $46,783. Now it's more than $167,000, which converts to or translates to 257% growth from the time I started it to the end of August. I've never added new money to the portfolio. All the growth is organic, meaning that it has all come from dividends, dividend reinvestment, and adjustments such as I described earlier when I was talking about portfolio management. I started the portfolio with 10 positions in 2008. I now have 30 positions. The annual income goes up about 10% per year. Remember I said that through dividend reinvestment I'm adding about 3% a year in annual income? The other 7% or so comes from dividend increases from the companies and or from adjustments such as the one that I showed you earlier. And finally, the portfolio's yield on cost is 10.9%, which means that at the rate dividends are coming in right now, which is more than $5,000 per year, the portfolio is sending me in dividend income an amount that's equal to 10.9% of the amount that I originally spent to set up the portfolio. I don't know about you guys, but I'm very pleased with that, and I hope that this kind of portfolio, and the whole reason I do it really, is to be inspirational to investors, particularly younger investors, who are beginning to think about their retirement someday and how they're going to finance retirement. I follow blogs and articles and videos, maybe many of you do too, that suggest that one can substantially contribute to a good retirement by having a flow of dividend income that grows each year. And that's what this portfolio is all about. That's what dividend growth investing is all about. Today we covered 2 of the 3 reasons that the portfolio's income goes up each year. We covered portfolio adjustments, meaning trims, sales, and moving money around, and reinvesting dividends every month. In the next monthly review, I will talk about the 3rd reason, which is the dividend increases that the companies make themselves. And that's a wrap for this video. Thanks for watching. Remember to click the buttons, and bye everybody.